Okay, so after the process of checking the mesh and checking the vertex group, we are back, and what we're gonna do, we want to create some kind of I key handles or I key constraints. Before that, let us check if all vertices are part or assigned to specific bone. So let's go into the pose mode, and you can even check here and come here under the um, pose and under the root and select a certain bone and move it. So if I, select this one and maybe rotate, right, or something like that, or move it or do some whatever I want to do, that everything has to follow my bone. So check that. Also check, you can select the root and maybe just move the whole root and see if everything is following. That will be very important later on when you start animating your character. So that's that. You can also maybe try to rotate. Yeah, so it seems like it's pretty good. Okay, now we're gonna do the eye key. So I'm gonna just go back to my layer where my skeleton is, and let's first create the eye keys for arms. Usually that's much easier. So I'm gonna go edit mode, select the tip of it, shift S, and I say cursor to selection. Okay, now if I go back to the object mode and hit add empty, right, that will be my eye keys for my object for my eye key constraint, and I will hit N, and that's my right. So I will name this object hand dot right. Okay, if I go back now, select the skeleton of course and go back into the pose mode, select my the last bone. Under the constraint, add constraint eye key solver. Okay, my object will be hand.r, the one that I just made. And here's the chain length. By default, it's 0, which means it's going to apply to all the bones. So if I would start now to move my empty, the whole skeleton would follow it. So I don't want to do that. I simply want to go up to the shoulder. So gonna 1 bone, 2 bone, 3 bones in a chain, and that's right here. Now if I select my, let's go back into object mode and select my empty and move it, and the arm should follow it, right? Now there are many ways and many nice ways to put additional constraints and so on. I'm gonna just do the very basic one. So let's select then skeleton again. Let's do the other hand. So edit mode, select the tip of the left arm, and again shift S, cursor to selection, back to the object mode. Maybe I didn't select it. No, I did. And then I hit add empty. That's good. So hit N again. Now that will be my hand left, right? Okay, so it seems like it's okay. If you see here 001 something, that means that you probably already have object with that name, and then Blender by default made a copy of it. So that's it, but mine works fine. Okay, and now back to the skeleton and back to the pose, and select the last bone in your arm and add the constraint and add the eye key, and that was hand left, right? Hand left, and again chain length 1, 2, 3 goes up to the shoulder. So that's the one. Okay, now for the legs. Legs are more difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two eye key constraints for each leg. One here. So let's go into the edit modes, come here, and I'm going to do shift S, cursor to selection, switch back to the object mode, add my empty. Okay, and that empty will be my leg right, okay, and come back here. Let's go into the pose mode. Select the second bone from here and put the constraint to that one, and that will be my object leg. I'm sorry, right. Keep switching those ones. So the length goes 1, 2, let's see, and 3. So goes all the way to the hip. Now the problem that I will also have are the toes. So to the object mode, and I'm gonna put somewhere here my cursor. Let's see if we view from the side how that looks like. Something like that. That's pretty good. And I'm gonna do add the empty again, and empty. That will be my foot. So that will be for my foot, for the toes, right? And that's right. Okay. So select the skeleton, back into the pose mode. Now this time last bone, add constraint, key solver, object, foot, right? And the chain length, this time I'm gonna just do for these 2 bones, 1 and 2. Okay. Now there are many ways again to create Ike handles. I'm just gonna do it that way. So now if I click back into the object mode, right, I have one I key that will control one leg, and then I have the other one. Now what we can do is, as you can see, something weird is happening here. We can put additional constraint on this one bone. So let's select that one. Let's go into the pose mode and add constraint and do limit rotation. You have to experiment with these ones. I'm gonna just try a few numbers and see whatever works the best. So maybe that's something like that could work for me. But you can play with it and see what works. It seems like that it's not bad. We're doing just a simple walk cycle, so for me that's pretty good. Okay. So now you're gonna do for the second leg, and then we will see how everything looks like when we bring our object and our mesh.